This episode was made possible thanks to generous supporters on Patreon. Are you struggling to bend the strings in tune? If so, I've got a solution for you, so watch until the end. String bending is a technique that becomes widely used in guitar playing at the beginning of the 20th century due to the need of imitating the portamento in singing, especially in blues, and remains a fundamental guitar technique ever since. However, when we bend a string, we don't really have a reference to where exactly we need to bend. And this is the reason why quite often string bending goes out of tune. Luckily, there are solutions of this problem, so let's get some
exercise.
As I said, to bend in tune, we need a reference for the pitch that we are aiming for. And probably you already know that if you play the note that you need to reach with bending, it can serve as a reference, but the problem is that if you do this randomly, it's completely inefficient and also boring. And that's why I prepared several exercises for you. The first exercise is based on a simple major scale that we need to play on a single string. I would recommend you to start on the third string for two reasons. First, is the easiest one to bend, and secondly, it's the one that's the most sensitive to pitch deviations. Hence, it's kill two birds with one stone. So we start from the highest note from the C major scale, so we use this C here on the 17th fret on third string, and we will use this as a reference. And then we go down to the next note of the scale, just below that, and this is B. And we bend this B up until we reach the reference point, C. And then we go back down to B, and then this B will serve as our new reference point. Then we use the same logic and we go down to the next note on the scale, and this is A. And then we bend this A up to B, and B was our last reference point. And then we go back to A. This A will serve as a reference point for the next note in the scale. And using this logic, we go all the way down to the low C. And for the sake of convenience, you can play this in some sort of triplet feel, like that. The second exercise is pretty much the same, but we will use this time E minor pentatonic scale for the purpose of training bends that are bigger than a whole step. So in this particular case, we will start here on E on the third string, which is 21st fret. This will be our first reference. Then we go down to the next note, which is D. We bend and go back to D. D will serve as a new reference point, and then we go down to the next note from the pentatonic scale, and this time it's B, and this difference is quite big already. It's a minor third, and this is what we need to train. So we bend from B and we go down to B, then using the same logic we go down to A, we bend from there, go back, then G, we bend up to A, and then we go down to E, where we will do another big bend. We go back to E, and finally D, bend to E. The whole exercise goes like this. would suggest you play this exercise with different fingers, different scales, different strings, so you can get as versatile experience as possible. The third exercise is something that you've probably encountered already, and this is what is called the unison bend. And this sounds like this. So this is played on two strings simultaneously, as on the high string we press one note, and on the adjacent string below that we press another note that we bend, and we bend it all the way up until it reaches the pitch of the high string. And thus we're getting an interval which is unison, so two equal notes, and this is why it's called unison bend. And you can hear these unison bends used everywhere in very prominent blues and rock guitar players. Normally these are played either on the set of first and second string or second and third string. As there is a small difference. When we play this on the set of first and second string, the stable note we press on fret that we choose, and on the low string we press 3 frets higher and we bend a whole step. Whereas on second and third string, because the interval between these two strings is a major third, unlike the other strings which are tuned on perfect fourth, so there is 1 fret offset, and we need to compensate that by pressing only 2 frets away from the stable note. A very good way to practice these unison bends is to play scales, or even play simple melodies. So that's everything for today's episode. I hope you like it and find it useful. Please share your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and if you like what I do, consider supporting me on Patreon on the links down in the description, where you can get access to all kinds of useful things like tabs, audio downloads, exclusive materials and many more, and membership starts as low as $3 per month. Also, if you're a first-time viewer, please subscribe to my channel and click that bell notification button to get informed when I upload new video. See you next time, and remember, practice makes perfect.